Well, good afternoon, my beautiful people. I had to look down at my watch to make sure that I didn't say good morning because it's some morning somewhere. But I wanted to jump on my live post today to have a discussion about relationships. I know that a lot of you haven't seen me in a while talking about relationships. I've been talking about everything other than relationships. I figured I would give that a break for a minute because I think that right now our social media platform has been inundated with so much conversations or so many conversations about relationships from a man's point of view, about the do's and don'ts of relationships, and talking about, I would say, the meat of a relationship, talking about actions and if this person does this, they're not the right one for you, or 5 steps to this and you may find the right person for you. And what I'm finding out is that people don't really want to do the inner work. And this is what it's really about. Relationships, they change from season to season, from person to person. But the main thing that I am beginning to see is, where is the inner work that we should do on a personal level for yourself, just on a personal level. And so today my discussion is about dating, the characteristics of different types of daters. Now, again, I always come on here and state who I am, but I believe by now you guys know who I am. Check out my live post, look at my name, you know who I am. And I've been talking about relationships for several years now. It's nothing new. And some of you probably have even forgotten that, yes, I do minister, I do preach, but this is, I believe, in an area where I am called to for this particular season. Not to say that the other things don't matter, that the word of God, I live by that. I am a believer, first and foremost. And I do believe that marriage is the ultimate goal for relationships, starting and then ending in a marriage. This is the goal. And for those of you that are in leadership or people who are older and may even question yourselves on why is it that Vera's always talking about relationships, oh, she's at it again. Because people are in relationships. People want to be in relationships. People are going in and out of relationships. People are getting divorced and separated. Yes, even in the COVID, there are still things that are happening in our society. And relationships is a big thing. It's a big part. Why? Because everyone has to interact with someone at some point in time. And so today I wanted to talk about, I'm going to make you laugh because y'all already know, I like to make things, I would say, palatable for people. Sometimes, you have people that can really be in your face and telling you off, but I like to make you laugh at the same time. I like to give you like a thought-provoking moment as it relates to dating. And for those that are married, you probably could pick up some tips too, because it's not just about the fact that I'm a single woman and that you may be a married person, but even in a marriage, when I was married, I still had a marriage mentor. I had a couple that used to mentor me. For those of you that don't know, what gives me the qualifications to talk about it? Well, I've been married a couple of times. As I've said before, I got 2 Super Bowl rings. I've been married twice. And I've learned a few things along the journey. Now, we all can point the finger. It was his fault. It was her fault. Whoever, it doesn't matter. It failed, right? It failed and it did not work. And so through that journey, I just figured, hey, I believe I found out, not the secret sauce, but I found out some things that would really help you move forward if you are still desiring to be with someone. Is that all right? Well, y'all already know if you say yes or no, I'm still going to go and do what I got to do, okay? So I want to start off with the first type of dater. I wrote it down because y'all know how I am. The first type of dater is a critical dater. What is a critical dater? A critical dater is someone who says, hey, I'm ready to put myself out there. I'm ready to get out there and market myself so that I can be in a partnership with someone. But when you start on the journey, you begin to, when you initiate that, right? Because when you put yourself out there, You're letting everybody know, hey, okay, you're ready to allow someone in your space. And when that person comes into your space, some people are so critical. Critical in everything is an issue. Critical talking about how maybe the person, they don't like the way the person chew. They don't like the way the person smells. They don't like their family. They would be all right if they had this, and they would be all right if they had that. And you know, he doesn't make that particular amount. And you know, she doesn't have this or she doesn't have that. And what that does is it's already shut down the possibilities of even moving forward because you're so critical. You're so caught up on everything. You're magnifying all of that person's inconsistencies, or maybe they're not fully committed to what if they told you they were going to do something and they didn't. You're pointing out everything. You may not like the way that person dressed, or initially you liked it, but now you have an issue with it. That is a critical dater. A critical dater is someone who always has something to say, but never realizing that the more you point a finger at one person, another finger is pointed back at you. No one is above being criticized for something or something or someone that may be in their life, or something that they don't like about that person. And it's up to you to decide, are you willing to go the distance with this person and to try to get to know them before you criticize every single solitary thing? Now, again, there are valid reasons, certain times when you can be critical from the door and understand and say to yourself, this is not going to work. I don't think that this person fits my lifestyle, or I don't think that we have a connection, and it's okay. Move on in a nice way. Don't kick the person's back out. Just move on in a nice way, because that person may not be a good fit for you, the critical dater, but they may be a good fit for someone else. All right. So you want to leave the building. All right. Leaving it standing, not blowing it up with your mouth, right? Putting your mouth on people. That's not good to do. Now, the other person that I want to discuss, because the critical one is number one. I have 5 daters, and the first one is a critical dater. And the second one is called an on-call counselor. What am I saying? Okay. An on-call counselor is someone who puts themselves out there, state that they are in that place where they want to date. And on the journey of dating, they may be by profession or by bootleg, I would say people who have told them, yeah, you know, you should be a good counselor because you really help a lot of people out, and you give good advice, and I think you need to keep doing that. And what happens is it spills over. If you are a professional, a therapist, or a licensed counselor in that field, I am telling you that sometimes when you're saying to yourself, why is it that I haven't found anybody? Why is it that nothing pans out? Because you are an on-call counselor. On-call counselor is one of those people that you can call them in the middle of the night. They are there for you. You call them, the professional counselors, they're going to make you pay for their time, all right? They're going to make you pay to waste their time, or for them to give you some nuggets and some tools and some strategies to move forward. And it happens, and it spews over in the dating pool. I have seen this. I've seen one particular person, I won't call their names, or I won't even say a he or she, but this particular person, I noticed that their conversations was always trying to analyze something about that person that would disqualify them from being a good fit for them. And in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, this is so deep, because I'm not going to sit here and say that I have not had to sit down and make an assessment of my own self and try to figure out what type of dater was I. And this is why I'm asking for some of you to take that time out to really get to have a moment and think about, what type of dater am I really? How do I really, how do I come off when I am speaking to someone? Or what type of energy or aura do I give off? What type of personality do I bring to the table when I am trying to engage in conversation or engage in getting to know someone? Am I an on-call counselor? Am I the one that the phone call is supposed to be about collecting data, but it ends up you counseling that person, and they may not ever tell you, but it may get on their nerves, and it may feel like to them that it's not a good fit on their side because you're so busy trying to tell them what's all wrong with them, and you're not looking at yourself. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. You have to realize and figure out who you are in that season or in that moment. And let me just say this. Let me be clear. Because I am in ministry, and because I've had the opportunity to counsel people in regard to maybe if they wanted to get married, or just counsel people on just a one-on-one about something that was going on, I had to take my own advice and understand in the dating pool, I cannot put on a counselor's hat, because that is not what this is about. What it is about is getting to know someone in the rawness and how raw that they may want to be, because we already talked about it. When you meet someone and you go on a date, what I always say, there's 6 people on a date. There is the representative, the person they pretend to be, and then the real them. I always say that across the board. Now, again, let me just digress and say this to you. There is a lot of people out here giving advice and, as they say, expertise in regard to dating and how it should look when you're dating. If the person is doing this, then he's not the right one, or they're just not into you. But I'm giving you a perspective as it relates to doing a self-assessment of yourself, because before you can even get to that point about is he into you or is she into you, you need to figure out, wait a minute, let me go into this thing. Let me go into this dating pool with my eyes wide open, but with an open mind and an open heart. And I believe that that's why some people have not really made a love connection or a chemistry. They always talk about the chemistry. Well, it's really a mixture of not just one thing. It's a mixture of a whole lot of things. It is a gamut of things that you really should focus on. It's not just on the fact if they can pay their bills. It's not just the fact what they're driving. It's not just the fact of their appearance, their image. It's not just those things. It is a whole mixture of things. It is a blend. And sometimes, we hit or miss. I mean, like I said, I'm the first one. I took 2 L's, okay? So I'm just saying, I've learned from the situations that I have been in that it takes more time to assess yourself, assess where you are, and be open-minded and have your heart to be open. Now, the Bible tells us to guard our heart and our minds, okay? For those that are Christians, and y'all know where I'm going with this, I don't believe that, if you fall, and when I say if you fall, if you happen to open up your heart to someone and it doesn't go as you plan, God will be there to pick you up. He's there to heal your broken heart, but you can't go into it so guarded, with the fort all the way up, that you don't give someone a chance. That's all I'm saying. I've been listening to a couple of people, because people do call me, although you may not see me again on live, on the Facebook Live post, or you may not see me in certain areas. It doesn't mean that I'm not doing some work. It doesn't mean that you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. People do call me. People do share with me their stories, and they want to know, hey, why am I not making a connection? Or, hey, I thought that it was going this way. But it could be because you could find yourself in a couple of these datings characteristics. You could be the critical dater. You could be the person, the on-call counselor. I had to realize a long time ago that I had to put that hat up and just allow myself to be in the moment, to not try to change anyone, to not try to shift their thought process, but to see and feel that person out, to understand that, hey, we are all created in the likeness and the image of Christ, but we're all different people, and we have to respect each other's space in that. So that's what I say about the on-call counselor, because it seems like they can't turn it off. They analyze everything the person does, and then they chalk it up to, well, that person wasn't meant for me. Because the truth is, yes, I do understand that some people are narcissists. I talked about that so many times on my other live posts. But it doesn't mean that even a narcissist, depending on that type of person, deserves love. Now, I know what you mean. Well, everybody, you can't keep labeled. Everybody can't be labeled a narcissist because they don't agree with some of your foolishness or some of your shenanigans. I understand that there is, narcissists can be very dangerous, but I'm not talking about that right now. I'm just talking about the different type of characteristics of people who date. And could you be one of these type of people? That's all I'm saying. And then the third one is, never will I ever date her. I never will I ever date as a person that says, oh, I couldn't do that. Oh, this one, oh, he's not for me, or she's not for me. She's not the right color. She's not the right shape. He's not the right color. He's not the right shape. He doesn't have the right amount of money, or the man could say she doesn't come from a particular type of, home base. So I don't know if I could deal with this or put up with this. And those are the never will I evers. And sometimes the never will I ever daters never really give someone an opportunity to win their heart, because they've already made a decision that this is not going to work. And when you've already put it out there in the atmosphere, or you're already thinking it, as a man thinketh, so is he, you've already shut down the possibility, because you don't know. That short guy, I always talk about the short dudes, because for some reason, I used to always end up with the short dudes. And I would say to myself, like, what am I doing? Why am I attracting those? And in the beginning, I can honestly say, I would shut it down. In my mind, I would be like, oh, here we go. Here we go with this. But then I opened up my heart, opened up my mind, and say, listen, I have to change my thought. I have to change my mindset on how I approach just interacting, just to go out and have some lunch. I can't shut it down. Now, keep in mind, did they work out? No, because I'm still here, right? You don't see no ring on my finger as of yet. I say yet, as of yet. But it was an opportunity for me to gain more information, more knowledge, to make a conscious decision to say, it wasn't that bad. Although it was not a love connection for me and that person, it does not mean that that person was a bad person. He was just not right for me. And it's the same thing with some of you. Give the person a chance. Go out and have some lunch. Or now, because I understand the COVID, we have to do things differently. But hear the person out. Have a conversation. Have some dialogue. Be able to learn how to listen to the person. And that's another discussion for another day. But no, I think I'll talk about that a little bit, because, hey, it's my page. I can do what I want. I had to understand that when we talk, sometimes we talk because we just want to be heard, and then we never really give the other person a chance to respond and really take in what they're saying. Whether it is to criticize you constructively, or whether it is to just vent because you have really done something that they were displeased about. It's just the way that we look at it. I'm talking about all of this is dealing with self-assessment, reevaluating how you do things, even in a marriage. Just because you have said your I do's, for some of you that I know that are married and you are watching, you may come back and watch the replay. Because you are married, it does not negate the fact that you still have to evolve as a couple. Learning how to engage in a healthy communication is key also. Just because you got that person or you won that person over doesn't mean that you're still doing everything right. I get it. Image looks good to put up there on your live post, or, just a photo of you and your loved one. Everybody wish they had that, but nobody knows it may be hell behind the closed doors because communication is off. You guys aren't talking. I recall, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I remember when I really got to know my dad. I didn't really get to know him until I was like 15 years old, but I would go visit him, and I recall a lot of times, their household wasn't what it looked like on the outside. And so I learned a lot about what I don't want. From my mother side of the spectrum, my mother, she got married once, she never married again. And so I know what it looks like to grow up in a single parent home. And then I know what it looks like to see someone who is married. But I don't think it was all that what everybody thought it was, because I was on the outside. And so I saw some things. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And I understand that if you want something healthy, you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to put yourself in that position as well. So all the never will I evers could be blocking a lot of you young ladies and some men who are very disheartened because you may have gotten hurt. And so now you have this big old wall up to say, I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to let a female get that close to me, man. They try to take me for everything I had. For those that have been married and now are divorced. If you continue to keep that kind of attitude and that mindset, you could be blocking the best thing that will ever walk into your life, all because of your past, right? Old things are passed away. Behold, all things become new in Christ, right? Those that are, those that are Christianese, right? Those that are living this lifestyle. We say that we love the Lord. We say we know Christ. For those that love the Lord, okay? And walk with him and have a relationship. Now we have to understand that there are seasons when we have to say, I need to assess where I'm at. Because I do that often now. As I get older, I do that often to assess where you are. So that never will I ever dater is blocking the doorway for someone probably good to come into their lives. And so for the fourth one is take me as I am. Oh boy, this one right here. Woo! Oh my goodness. The take me as I am dater characteristics. Let me give you an example. The take me as I am dater. This is their stance. You either take, hey, this is how I am. You don't like it? Then you can kick rocks. You don't like it? Bye, boy. Or here go the dude. Oh, well, listen. This how I am. I'm a man. You ain't going to change me. That take me as I am mentality, how's it working for you? I'll wait. How many dates, maybe if you just put yourself back out there, have you had any successful dates? What I mean by successful dates is sometimes it may not be a love connection, but you find a good friend, because they'll say, we didn't make it as it relates to trying to make a love connection, but you're a real cool person. Like I don't mind having a conversation with you. Whereas some people will feel like, oh, that dude was so full of himself that I don't never want to see him or speak to him ever again. I'll give you an example or a true story from my own page. Years ago, when I first got divorced, I went on a date with a friend of mine's knew this gentleman. So, they didn't try to play Cupid, but of course the person seen me and they was like, oh, you looking kind of cute there. Maybe we can go out to eat, So I was like, hey, at that time, I was feeling some kind of way about everything. And so I went out on a date. And as I began to get this person, because I went out on more than one date, I realized that they had that attitude. It was like, I got a little money. It was the attitude. I got a little money and I don't really need, no woman but other than, y'all know. And I'm looking and I'm thinking to myself, this person has an attitude of take me as I am. It's either you take it how it is. They weren't even willing to compromise to allow someone in their space. Now keep in mind, this person had gave off every a signal that they wanted a woman in their life. They wanted someone. But yet they were giving off a stench of take me as I am. Very arrogant. Conversation, they dominated the conversation. Bragged about what they had. And then would make little jokes, trying to be sarcastic, trying to belittle me. And I'm saying all this because I want for you, or if you know someone who is single, who may need to see this video, please share it. Because at times we don't know that we're doing this because it's us, right? We feel like, hey, well, I'm good. But when you see yourself in a mirror, when you see this, you know how if you're sick, you're not feeling well, and you may go on WebMD or Google it and find out if you have these particular symptoms, you might have the flu. If you have these particular symptoms, God forbid, you may have the COVID. If you have these particular symptoms, you may be depressed. Well, I'm giving you some of the symptoms of a data characteristic that maybe you are carrying and don't even know it. And this is why I believe that shoving down a person's throat all the time about the 12 steps to dating, how to get a girl method, and you'll know them when they show up that that's the one for you. To me, I feel like it does a disservice to the people. And that's just my stance on it. Because I feel like even if that person comes and they know that you're the right one, if you have not done the inner work to work on you, and to begin to say, before I can talk about them, I need to work on me. I need to work on my weight. I need to work on how I say things. I need to work on how I represent myself. I need to work on being so suspicious, because if you have trust issues, that's another thing. Now, that's not a dating characteristic that I put up here, but I'm just saying in general, people who deal with that. I mean, half of us, if everybody want to raise their hands, even when you were a child and you call yourself smitten and you had like a little boyfriend or a little girlfriend, and then you find out old Billy Bob down the street was kissing your girl on the cheek, you feel like she was cheating on you, and now your heart is broken. Everybody has gone through that. But I'm saying that if the trust issues that you have now is like a sting, like a dagger in your heart, and you can't get past it, and now that you're in another relationship, but you are still constantly suspicious, or you're looking for the shoe to drop, like you're just, okay, it's just going too good that I think that something's gonna happen mentality, then it's time for you to really take an assessment and figure out, is that you? Are you the one acting like that? Is that you? Are you the one? Maybe you need to think about that. Maybe you need to really hone in on the fact that you need to work on yourself. You need to change some things. And how do you change it? By first of all, just accepting that that is a part of what you do. When I talk about different issues and different topics, I am not just talking because I have Googled something and now I have did a little time to look it over and now I want to bring it to you. No, these are coming from experiences that I have had and research that I have done, conversations that I've had with others who are going on this journey, who have been married, who have been separated. Some people have never been married, and then they wonder why they have never been married. Not to say something's wrong with you because you've never been married, but no, these are some tools and some strategies and some thought-provoking topics that will make you say and ponder like, maybe I need to work on that. Maybe I need to reassess where I am. Am I that type of person that just says, take me as I am? Because if you say, take me as I am, you may not ever get taken. Because your family may love the way you are. Your family may love the fact that sometimes you're controlling or you are full of drama. I'm talking about for a female. Or you like to have what you want when you want it. But if you're looking for someone to walk into your life and that you really are saying, I'm tired of being by myself, then baby, you're going to have to maybe reassess that, take me as I am, and say, hey, I want you in my life, but I'm a work in progress. I'm going to work on some things. That's the type of attitude that I believe that you should have. I believe that you should be honest, not right from the beginning, but I do believe that honesty is the best policy on where you are. And who better to be honest with than yourself? Than yourself. It's time for you to do the work. This is why I wrote the book, 50 Shades of Dating, where you can actually find that on Amazon. It's not just a book that I'm pushing because I want to make some money. Yes, okay, a couple of dollars is involved, but let's just keep it real. Everybody's not going to get rich off of the fact that they can write a book. But what I am saying to you is that some of the nuggets and tools that I have put together in that book will help you figure out where you are and do a mental assessment of where you are and start cleaning up some of those things. Start changing. That's what you're supposed to do. Change how you do things. Change how you your perspective on it. Change how you talk to people, because that's half the battle. Some of us don't know how to talk to people. I said that earlier as it relates to communication. And for my last one, because I got things to do, but I figured I would take this time out, since I got myself all together, let me just do this before I get out and about. And the last one, oh my goodness, I've had a few of these. The last dater characteristics is DJ Quick. DJ Quick in the building. Are you a DJ Quick in the building? You could be a DJ Quick in the building. You could be a female or a male DJ Quick. A DJ Quick dater is a person that moves too fast. Gets so excited because you think you found the right one, and you move so fast, you move past every red flag, you move past every detour, every roadblock, you move everything because now you feel like, I found the right one. This is it. And you go nosedive. Quick as you started, it's over. You know anybody like that? Have you ever been in a situation like that? Oh, you think you found the one, and it only lasts is what? Maybe about conversations. Let me just give you a trajectory of how, that's a tongue twister, a trajectory of time. When you start dating in this day and time, what happens is you have this window of euphoria from the time that you start texting or sending messages back and forth. And from the time you really get to know that person, all right, now you starting to have conversation on the phone. That's about maybe 2 to 3 weeks in. So the DJ Quick dater, it takes about just a month, and then it fizzles out. And then you sit and you be like, what just happened? Because you were a DJ Quick dater. Sometimes you don't take enough time to get to know the person before you nosedive into a situation. I've seen this happen so many times. I've seen this happen, and I noticed that you can see a person who posts something up there. They have new love in their life, a new boo. They so quick to put it out there. They don't give it time to marinate. It's good to date. I understand that, here's the protocol. People say that it's not good to date in secret, right? It's not good to date without really no one knowing what's going on. But I would beg to differ. I feel like it's best to date behind the scenes for a season until you really know or really feel comfortable, and you're really feeling that it's confirmed in your spirit that this is the one that you think you want to rock out with for a minute and try to take it to the next level. I don't believe that you should tell everybody from the beginning, hey, I'm dating DJ Quick. All y'all need to meet him. We cool. I love him. You love him. You don't even know DJ Quick. It's time at that moment. You don't need to be putting your pictures out there. You don't need, whether you be a male or female, you don't need to from the beginning. In 2 or 3 weeks in of really getting to know someone, I don't care if they were recommended or somebody told a cousin of yours introduced you to her best friend or vice versa. I don't believe that you should put your stuff out there until you really are knowing that it is a solidified relationship going somewhere. And that's what I call a DJ Quick dater, because you move too fast and it fizzles out quicker than you started. So can you find yourself in one of those dating type of people? The first one was critical dater. The second one was the on-call counselor. And the third one was never will I ever dater. The fourth one is take me as I am. And then the fifth one, like I said, is DJ Quick. And the DJ Quicks, those are the ones that come on strong. It could be a female or a male that can do this. come on so strong, and you thinking like, yeah, this is it. Oh man, I know I found the right one. Oh, they say all the right things, but that's because it is the honeymoon stage. Do you understand? And at our age, we need to understand that. I have been there and I have done that. And I have learned a plethora of information from doing things like that. Because I feel like everything that you go through in life, it is not about being embarrassed. It's more so like it's a learning curve for you. It's a learning curve. We're all learning on this journey. And yeah, I know even in your 50s, we're still learning how to do this thing. Even in a marriage, you still have to do some work. What does that work entail? Communicate, make dates, spend time alone, reassess where you are, because we can't assume that the relationship is going well just because the other party appears to be happy. It is good to take those times to sit there and have a conversation and just do a checkup. You know, I had a dog. I loved him dearly. His name was Polo. And he was as they call it now, it's a tongue twister, but he was a full breed Lhasa Apso. He was in like the Maltese family where the hair grows real long. He was very pretty. And what I would do, I used to take him to PetSmart, and they have like a vet's hospital there. And it's called Banfield. And so when you sign up for it, you pay for your membership, and you come in every 6 months for a wellness checkup. And I believe that it's the same scenario with a relationship. We need to have a wellness checkup to find out how we're doing. You see, these are some of the lessons that I've learned after being married 2 times. Now, the first marriage, I was too young. I mean, I'm real cool with my kid's father. But we were young kids. You know, what do we know about life? We thought we knew, and we still have a great relationship. But the fact of the matter is, we didn't take time to do those wellness check-ins. We didn't take time to have those pit stops where we communicated. Really tell me the truth. How are we doing? Am I making you happy? What are some things that we can do as a couple that would make us better? Because we want to be on the same team, not against each other, right? And so this leads me to something else. I have one of my sons, and it's so crazy how they come to me, sometimes not from a mom's perspective, but they come and with their girlfriends, and they have a situation and they want to talk to me about it. But I never come off as, well, you did this to my son, or you did that and you shouldn't be with him or her. I always say, one of the things I noticed was you're talking at each other, but you're not talking to each other. And with that being said, these are the things that even in a marriage, I know that I'm talking about singles. But even after when you're single and you're building a relationship, or you're going into the data stage, now the courting stage, and you're moving on, you're progressing, you need to still have conversation. How do I know that? Because even though someone may put a ring on your finger for engagement, it's still not solidified until you say, I do. So I've seen people who get engaged, they're all excited, and it fizzles out. Why? Somewhere down the road, communication was disconnected. People make decisions every day, whether they want to do this or do that. But one thing you can never take for granted is the fact that you are assuming that everything is all right. So when you are going on this journey, do a wellness checkup. Say, hey, let's check in like every 6 months, or let's check in every 3 months. Hey, how do you feel about where we're going? Do you feel like it's positive? Or if it's not working out, I'm talking about the singles. If it's not working out, you can agree to disagree and say, listen, I don't have anything bad to say about you, and I pray that you don't have anything bad to say about me either. Maybe it's just not a good fit. That's all. But also, let me reel it on back and say, as a believer, for me, I'm going to just tell y'all my secret sauce right now is I am praying about the right person coming into my life, as I'm praying that they're praying for me too. These are some things I believe that when you are young, like I was the first time I got married, I wasn't seeking the Lord about it because I wasn't walking with the Lord then. I was out there partying, dropping it like it's hot, and having a good time, and drinking my sex on the beach drinks, okay? I'm the type of person, I keep it real. If you can't handle it, then that's just too bad. But I believe that people, they gravitate more to a person who is authentic than someone who's trying to pretend that they have it all together, which I don't have everything together. But I'm giving out of all of the places and all of the things that, you know, I've been through, and to help somebody else on this journey. For one, it's nothing wrong with you because you're single. It's nothing wrong with you if you've never been married. But now it's time for you to take time to do a personal assessment on, are you that type of person? If you're just coming in, I would really love it if you'd go back, and I thank you all for your comments. I love it when you comment because it lets me know that, you know, you are here, you're supporting what I'm saying, and I appreciate that so much. But if you haven't listened to the beginning, some of you that can, you know, while you're in your car or cleaning your house, because that's what I do when I'm listening to other people's live posts. I may not be able to sit and visually watch them, but I'll have it, you know, I'll have it playing while I'm cleaning the house or whatever I'm doing, because I really want to learn. We all should be life learners. We all should want to learn something new. And you can never lead someone if you can't follow. And everyone doesn't have everything. So we need to learn from one another. So why not understand, why is it that you are in that place of singleness? Why is it that it hasn't worked out for you? Maybe because you don't realize that you are that type of person who is critical. You criticize folk. You know, this is just my recant. Or you're the person that are an on-call counselor. And I found myself in that place, and I had to learn how to turn that off. Being an on-call counselor, someone who thinks they got every answer, you know, to the situation, or I'm ripping that person apart with them not knowing it, looking at all their inconsistencies and their flaws, and not looking at my own. And that's the issue. We need to look at ourselves. You know, I'm going to leave y'all with this. This is my last little point. I remember when I was married, I had mentors. A couple by the name of Andrea and Cliff Rowley. They actually have, I think they have now a ministry for marriages. They have a blended family, and they're called the Marriage Technicians. They're an awesome couple. I mean, awesome, awesome couple. So I recall one day I was talking to her, and I was sharing with her all of my issues about my ex-husband, and she listened very intently, and she was like, okay. And I was saying, and he didn't do this, and he didn't do that, and so and so and so and so. And then she goes, are you finished? And I said, mm-hmm. She said, well, let me ask you a question. You see all of the things that he's not doing, but so have you assessed yourself? Have you thought about the things that you might not be doing that could be the reason why that person is responding to you the way that they are? And I was like, wow, I hadn't thought about it because I was so engulfed in me. It was all about me. And that's what happens. We become selfish. It's always about me. You know, I know, yeah, we got to do things for ourselves, but we're talking about when we're in a relationship and we're looking at the negative part of them, but we're not looking at the flawed part of us. We need to do better. So moving forward, for those of you that are out here and you're looking for someone, let's not just go to the videos that give you 12 steps or 8 steps to finding the right person. Or this one, they just not into you if they do these 6 things. How about if you take time out to do a personal assessment of yourself so that you can move forward being in a successful relationship? Okay? So I'm gonna leave you with my last little tag. Because y'all, I had stopped saying this for a minute, but I believe that it needs to be said. So you need to do a couple of things. Learn all you can and grow as you go. Why? So you can have a good, successful dating experience on purpose. All right. Enjoy your day.